Welcome. Hello, my dear fishies, and welcome to another story time. I'm happy to have you back. I hope you're looking forward to continuing to read. Is there a puzzle? You ask an excellent question. I will start a new puzzle. I'm having some issues with technology today, but aside from that, everything is going very well. We do actually have a puzzle. You just need to say the word puzzle in Twitch chat and you will get the link for it. Hello, welcome TikTok. Hey, Lost in Thought. Yes, the puzzle link is there. Why did TikTok chat tell me that the live was disconnected? It has not disconnected. And I think that something went wrong. Hello, Zaiwan. Something might have gone wrong with my microphone. It doesn't seem to be getting as high as it's supposed to. No worries, nothing that adding a little bit of gain won't fix. Alright. And now I need to sort out the calibration. Alright, that is working. Let's double check the lip sync. We want the lip sync to work. Yes, I do ASMR. Welcome. And thank you for joining. Hello, Ghost. It is great to have you today. Hello to our TikTok viewers. It is great to have you today. There we go. Hello, hello to all of my dear fishies. And welcome to, or welcome back to reading time. Hi, Atine. Hi, Ari. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? Hi, Krista. Thank you guys for joining me today. I would like to get into our reading. I am going to be reading Mal by PerlaZul. If you were listening to stream last night, in the last 2 hours of stream, this is the story that I was reading. Congratulations to Wood on redeeming first in chat. And it appears as though, oh, never mind, it worked. I was gonna say, oh no, the button isn't working. Oh, it does. And let me see, I actually want to zoom in a little bit closer. I'm going to use TikTok as a frame for what is correct. And then we'll do this and this. Okay, I think this is okay. Hey, TikTok, is this too close to you? Do you not want me to be this close? Or do you want to see the fishies in the background? If I zoom out, you'll get to see the fishies in the background. Or, better yet, is this how you want to view the stream? I feel like this is not a very pretty way to watch the stream. See, the stream is meant to be an experience. I could just rotate. Hello. Let me fix that. There we go. Do you want an up close stream or not? I gotta move that over. You're good. It looks wonderful. Okay, so it sounds like TikTok chat really likes it like that and not the close-up. But what's interesting is Twitch likes the close-up. Hello, words. Weird. Welcome. Hello, Ghost. Thank you so much for being here and welcome. Thank you for following. Hi, Jared. I'm having a wonderful day. Thank you for asking. Put a 1 in chat if you are ready for story time to begin. I like the close-up. Yeah, I know a lot of people do. This does mean, however, that I have to fix the fishies. I have to make it so that they are further back, because people really like to see their name on the fish. Zywan is ready. Krista is ready. Ari is ready. Hello, Ronster. Would you like a story? Because we are going to have story time. Thank you, Jared. Let's go ahead and begin then. Ooh, that just hurt the frame rate. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna hurt the frame rate. The frame rate is precious to us. Okay, let's start. The uninvited guest. The island kingdom soaks in the orange glow of the setting sun. The Akali, with the paddles secured, are all docked, bobbing on the calm waters. The adobe houses are quiet, too, but not with the same peace. There's anticipation in the air, a broiling excitement as the last day of the city dwellers, in bright pattern tilmatli cascading over their backs, hurry towards the center. Great feathered serpents are paraded through the plaza. Vivid green-blue plumes fly above heads, propped by a trail of men raising the serpent with poles. The scent of food and corn wafts from vendors while drums and flutes fill the air with music. Children in masks, children in colorful masks run amok, their parents haggling for an extra piece of chocolate. And sifting through the festive joy is the people's whispering. I hear the fairies were invited. Which ones? All of them? All? Even him? What if we're the ones to go to sleep next? Well, he's invited this time, isn't he? As the last rays of daylight descend past the hills of trees, the fairy lights ascend around the enormous Tekpan Kali, where the royal family resides. The entrance is illuminated by soft orbs of white light. Esteemed guests reach the top of the stone steps, and their eyes expand with wonder at the lights forming patterns and dancing images. The party music swallows their excited voices, and their forms are lost in the hodgepodge of color, streamers, and decor. But around the corner, where sounds and color fade, stands Mao, hidden in the shadows. He, too, is in more elegant attire, embroidered robes with more striking colors on black canvas. His thorns are carefully pinned up. One hand grips the rough corner, and the other holds a white invitation with gold lettering. After a loud squeal of excitement from another carriage, Mao pulls away back into the shadows. He looks down at the invitation instead and traces his name. "What?" a voice says behind him. "Still can't believe it's real." Mao turns to Fifth in her glittering gown in a similar style to Seventh's, who stands beside her. Fifth waves her own invitation in the air. "We can compare invitations." Mal shakes his head. "No, it's just, can I really be here?" "Yes, darling," Seventh says. "Your story has become quite a somber tale. A warning to powerful kingdoms to not trample the plight of others." Fifth nods, but maintains her sour expression. "Despite everything, Akalan was quite the storyteller. Even I teared up hearing..." Her voice trails off at one look from Mal. Seventh coughs before taking over. "The point is, you are certainly invited and will be treated as the most exonerated of guests." Right. All of it was just an unfortunate circumstance. A lesson for humans not to undermine the fairies who bless them. And the eighth fairy, who had rid the world of shades, simply gave back what was given to him: 100-year sleep. But the eighth fairy isn't heartless, for he guards the castle with impenetrable thorns, and all those sleeping do so safely. While Mal says nothing, Fifth scoffs. Of course. Especially when they all believe this kid. She motions to the Tekpon Kali with her eyes. Will be the one to wake the princess. But maybe it'll be the next kid. Who knows? There are 20 years left. Who'll be at a fitting age. Seventh sighs. Maybe too immature still for Vespera. Oh, when that girl gets to talk about infrastructure and societal constructs, I feel like I'm stuck with an encyclopedia. We might have to be thoughtful about our gifts for once. As the two fairies go back and forth, Mal's eyes stray around the corner. Mal's eyes stray back around the corner. You're right, Fifth continues. But what would a human girl admire? How would I know? Mal was human once, so... Mal can't stop fiddling with the invitation. It must be a mistake, after all. The moment he presents it at the entrance, he'll be turned away. He isn't a welcomed guest, just a villain whose tantrum ruined and separated lives. His breathing starts to quicken. Everyone at the party will see him for what he truly is, a creature of thorns that prick all who approach him. A monster capable of cursing his most precious friend. Mal! With a start, Mal spins back to Seventh, who watches him with concerned eyes. Yes? What were you on about? He asks. With an empathetic gaze, Seventh links her arm with Mal's and pats him gently. Are you nervous about the blessing? You don't have to do anything extravagant. Good hair, pretty eyes, common sense. The nap of a century. Seventh elbows Fifth before resuming her soft expression. Everyone is here to celebrate, and you are officially invited, along with the rest of us. Speaking of... She looks around them with a huff. Where are the others? We agreed to go in together. Just as she finishes speaking, a figure runs over to them. The moonlight reveals Sixth, tall, bulky, with thick brows furrowed in irritation. There you are! She exclaims. We were waiting for you on the other side. Fifth raises an eyebrow. We agreed to meet on the left. Yes, the left from the front. You came from the back. Oh. Mal hugs his abdomen, sensing something uncomfortable. There's an itch, like a dry scab peeling. Except Mal can't reach into himself to scratch it. His eyes stare at the dirt, his mind enraptured by the sensation. Then it's gone. Anxiety seizes him as he tries to grasp that feeling again and searches for it internally. He doesn't notice Seventh trying to get his attention until she gently touches his shoulder. "Mal?" she asks with a worried tone. Mal meets her gaze with a jerk and smiles a little too earnestly. "Sorry?" Her hold on him becomes firmer. "Are you all right?" Yes. Just nervous." Seventh rubs his shoulder. "You'll be fine, darling." The words help soothe him. He wants to believe her, but she doesn't know how he's falling apart. If she does, she'll only feel disappointment. Who wouldn't after putting so much care, effort, and love into a rose, only to see it wither? Mal can't do that to her. He'll get over this. He'll be fine. The long, deep exhalation is cut short, and Mal loses all breath. The world melts away, except for the single blue spot on the dirt between his black shoes and Seventh's glass slippers that walk out of his frame of sight. It's a blue so deep, the edges rounded and puckered up. Mal can't mistake what it is. Panic trembles through every strand of his thorns, and they expand. Mal feels like a bristling cat. Then his body snaps into movement. He is quick to stomp over it, just as Seventh glances back at him, motioning with her hands to follow them to meet with the rest of the group. Darkness is his salvation. With it, Seventh can't see his smile tremble on his lips. When she turns her back, he swoops down to scoop up the petal to crush in his hands. The petal is dust by the time he catches up and winds up walking alongside Sixth. Her light touch of citrus aroma that always clings to her skin and clothes, bring him back. Although he often drank with her vegan brews that she made especially for him, he avoids it nowadays. A beer too much, and his mouth becomes too loose. "First blessing, huh?" Sixth says, with a hefty slap to his back. "No need to worry. Humans are easily impressed by magic. Just throw out some convenient blessings. How's your princess doing? You know, I think I got that ale down now, the one her mother loves. I'll show you the process so you can teach your princess later." Mal nods. Instead of worrying about himself, he has Vespra to teach. Hers are the only dreams he's entered now, teaching her countless lessons passed on by the fairies when they are too busy to visit themselves. However, those lessons are growing more and more sparse. He can't help but smile thinking of her, missing her. Thank you, but I haven't really been to visit lately. She's busy teaching her people. He chuckles, but it comes out too nervous, and he rushes into his following sentence. Before, she couldn't wait for the curse to end, but now she says she's running out of time. Sixth whistles. What a ruler she'll be! That is, if her kingdom isn't all absorbed. Ha! I'll give the baby the gift of compassion, in case he's the one to marry her. Mal doesn't respond. All the fairies group up on the other side of the castle, and together make their way to the grand entrance. Mal's fingers bend and twist the corners of the invitation, light sweeping over the delicate ink and gold foil. One by one, first at the front, and he at Seventh's heels, they present their invitations to the guards. Thorns around his bones tighten, and he feels the pressure increase all throughout his body. His breath quickens as Third presents her invitation, followed by Fourth, that by the time Seventh is up, he's sure the world is losing air. His legs, stiff as they are, drag him beneath the doorway, where he is faced with the guard. No emotion crosses her blank face. No light of recognition nor apprehension. Quickly, Mal smooths out the wrinkled corners of the invitation and holds it out. Not a single word passes between them. The seconds stretch just enough for Mal to believe this is all a farce. He'll be kicked out and chased back to his hole while everyone waits for him to wilt away, if his bones don't shatter from the pressure first. Who in their right mind would consider inviting the same fairy that cursed a baby at a party just like this one? The guard puts the invitation away. She nods. Stunned, it takes Mal a moment to register his silent welcome and return the nod. The sudden release of his bones makes his legs weak, and he stumbles on his first steps into the castle. So preoccupied with returning to Seventh's side, Mal can't bask in the unrestrained joy and festivities around him. At least, not until he is seated at the fairies' table. High white sunset. At least, not until he is seated at the fairies' table, separated from the rest, but closest to the throne. No baby in sight. It's hard to concentrate on the fairies' conversation, not with the blaring drums and flutes, nor the drunken whoops and calls from laughing guests. Mal rolled his head back to the colored streamers and papel picado, featuring elaborate designs of flowers and hummingbirds. Food is already set up on the side, and endless row of cut meats, fruits, and sweets, each tray replenished before they are half emptied. When Mal looks down, he is faced with his golden reflection upon the gleaming plate. Anxiety rides on his shoulders, making him hunch forward. His face, though rosy thanks to Seventh's powders, cannot distract from his sunken cheeks and beady eyes. Mal doesn't belong here. He shouldn't be here. Not when he made a disaster of the last party he attended. A soft jab to his side breaks through his whirlwind of thoughts. Seventh smiles at him and directs their attention to First on the other side of the table. Mal follows her gaze to First, furtively showing her hand under the table. "I have the lots ready," she whispers, shaking the 13 sticks. "I'm passing them. No peeking." "Did you add the extra one?" I'm happy to provide some relaxation, Sunset. Hi, Maki. Thank you for joining. "I'm passing them. No peeking." "Did you add the extra one?" Second asks. "Of course I did. Now, here." The bundle shrinks by one with each pass. When it's Mal's turn, he receives a single stick from Seventh's hand. The wood is smooth against his thumb as he rubs it, feeling its grooves and uneven cuts. Slowly, he brings it up and blinks at the red 8 carved onto the bottom. Beside him, Seventh giggles in delight. "Finally, I'm first." She turns to Mal. "What did you get?" Mal holds his stick for her to see, his face blank. "Oh, well, no fretting. No matter what, a gift is a gift." The evening passes in a colorful, luminescent blur. Trained birds perform to the delight of the guests, yet even when one lands on his shoulder for a treat, he thinks of Daisy and her mother. He twirls the beautiful green feather left behind, imagining Vespra's next outfit design, a green dress with a tail of giant feathers. His mind jerks back to the party when Seventh and the rest of the fairies stand. He follows her meekly, like a baby duckling does its mother, to grab food. The other human guests maintain a respectable distance, smiling and acknowledging the fairies with a slight nod when eyes meet. But Mal can't maintain eye contact, convinced those smiles will twist into disgust and hatred if he does. Though the fruits are juicy and perfectly ripe, Mal can't taste them. Mostly, he listens to the fairies' banter amongst themselves, offering a comment here and there, only to appear present. But the moment the music fizzles into silence, soon followed by voices, as the Tlatoani steps up with 3 other women in heavy jewelry and 4 other children at his side, Mal's eyes are on the wrapped bundle. A 4th woman in simple dress, a midwife or caretaker, Mal assumes, walks before the Tlatoani and places the bundle in a raised basin. I'm out of water now. The next person to redeem a hydrate is gonna send me downstairs for a 3-minute break. Oh wait, I can just play an ad. It's fine. We are reading a book called Mal. M-A-L. It is available for purchase on itch.io. $2. $2. You can get this book and read it yourself. $2. A priest takes over then. His low, booming voice flows through the entire room, but Mal hears none of it. His eyes are ensnared by the red corner of the blanket falling out, moving slightly now and again. If our esteemed guests step forward to present their gifts to the youngest Huitzilin Ostrin of Tlatli Atlan. Mal jolts to his feet a millisecond after the rest. The fairies rearrange themselves in the order of their gifts, yet Mal remains at the end. Water pulses through his thorns like a heartbeat, growing louder and faster with each step that brings him closer to the basin. His hand clutches at his stomach as 7th approaches the baby and presents her gift. One by one, each fairy bestows a gift. Then his turn comes. It's as if all sound deafens, his steps thundering and each breath like a tornado in his ear. He stands before the baby, who gurgles at him. Such innocent eyes stare into him, so helpless and fragile. Not once did he look upon Vespra as a baby. His only concern had been his own pain, and he failed to consider the child he cursed to suffer. To have hurt such a pure soul without a second thought. Mal is truly a monster. Mal gulps and holds his voice steady. This is his one chance to fix everything. He can't ruin it all again. when he raises his hand over the baby, who reaches his chubby arms to him. The room holds its breath. When the boy becomes a man, at the end of the 100 years, he will travel to the sleeping castle. The thorns that guard will part for him, and the path will lay open for him. Within the highest tower, he will find the sleeping beauty and wake her with a kiss. The room erupts with cheers, submerging Mal like a tidal wave. Overwhelmed, Mal escapes from the spotlight, but not before he catches the Tlatoani's eyes. The ruler, a younger copy of Akalon, gives him an approving smile, like two con men seeing their plan come to completion. Mal breaks away first and dashes towards the empty hallways where he finds solace. He drops his head into his hands and mutters to himself, "It's done. It's done. It'll finally be over. And then..." He spots the floor through the gaps in his fingers, and his body goes still. Vivid blue petals litter the floor like a pool of blood expanding. His breath hitches. Silence. Buzzing. Eyes widening. Mal? Mal flinches and turns to Seventh, outlined by the glow of a party. Outlined by the glow of the party. She is blinking, trying to make him out in the dark. Panicked, Mal looks at the petals, but not a single speck of blue is to be seen. Mal, what's wrong? Nothing, Mal manages to say. There were too many people. Too much noise. Well, yes. You just proclaimed the kingdom's hero. Mal takes a moment to think over her words. I did, didn't I? Yes. I should go tell Vespra. Right now? Right now. He walks away, his mind fixed on Vespra and nothing else. He altered her future again, but he did so thinking of her. She'll wake up to a man blessed by the fairies, blessed by him, someone who will rule at her side. He dashes out of the castle, and once he is on the path to his house, he sprints. He looks up at the moon, seeking comfort, but finds none. though he dreads meeting Vespra. Nothing is more urgent. He bursts into his home, startling some of the shades awake. And he goes straight through the connecting doorway, clinks his stone to Vespra's, and sits in his usual chair. Scene 2. The once humble workshop is now an intricate, ever-moving mosaic of floating rooms with absent walls and ceilings. There's a pattern and order to it all, working beneath the chaotic sight that remains elusive to Mal's eyes. The workshops are now populated by people moving with purpose, at home in this strange dream. Passers-by recognize him instantly. Some offer a quick smile, others a wary breath, others a wary look. No one speaks to him, and Mal wisely remains out of the way. Eventually, Mal spots Vespra as she calls out to him from a high room. The goddess of this dream floats down to meet him, her plumes shining black. Small feathers sprout from the sides of her face to blend with her hair, clasped in gold. Though she retains her round, childish form, she descends with the grace of a master of crafts, more of a fairy than Mal would ever hope to be. A wide smile graces Mal as she embraces him.
Mal, it's been forever. I think we've finally perfected our irrigation plans.
Mal swallows. Vespra. Puzzled by his urgent tone, she drops her hands.
Yes?
I need to talk to you. Privately. From the mountains, a creature roars. They both turn to the black-feathered dragon spreading her wings. Even with the distance, they can see Daisy's wings wrap around a mountaintop before beating whirlwinds into existence as she takes off.
Okay,
Vespra says as she watches Daisy dance in the pink skies.
All right.
She takes his hand and looks around until she determines where best to go. Once she decides, she pulls him along.
We can go in here.
A fully walled room exits the cluster and floats before them. A rug unfurls to lead them through the open door. They enter a plain room with only a long table and a singular vase. Mal watches the door creak close, then the light narrowing until they are enveloped in darkness. A fairy light blooms into life above them. Mal blurts, "The prince will be coming to wake you." Vespera's brow furrows, taken aback by his sudden outburst.
Prince? What prince?
Accolon's descendant. All his thoughts, all jumbled and mixed in his head, rush out at once. He was just born, and I gave him a gift. He'll wake you, marry you, and unite your kingdoms.
Marry me? Wait. Me? Marry? Who decided that?
No one. But it's always been
expected.
Vespera finishes. Concern wrinkles her forehead as she paces back and forth.
Right. Because his kingdom has been watching over our people. It's only natural.
She stops in her tracks.
No.
Her brilliant eyes meet his as she comes to an epiphany.
Planned.
Unable to meet her sharp gaze, Mal looks away. Guilt claws inside of him, soon joined by shame. Vespera pieces it all together.
Accolon was the one who told me about the tower. Where you were waiting for me.
She narrows her eyes at Mal.
Since when?
Mal wrings his hands. After I cursed you, he granted me refuge. All I needed was a way to get to you, and he helped. The rest didn't matter to me until he visited her dreams, until he learned who she was, became her friend, and loved her. He did her wrong, so wrong. And he only made it worse, no matter how much he tried fixing it. But the prince will be good. All the fairies made it so.
How powerful is his kingdom?
This time, he is the one taken aback by her stern voice. The conversation takes a serious turn, and Mal responds in a neutral and straightforward manner. Sturdy. There have been no recent wars, no civilian riots or upbringings that would upend the throne. And your people wait for their rightful rulers in peace. Vespera resumes her pacing, half talking to herself.
Just when we were finishing reconstructing everything, I doubt their king would take a chance to lose any power or influence. And if I refuse to marry when he has control of our land and people.
They are quiet.
all of her people alive hold no memories of her. They only know Akalon and his kingdom. With each cycle she completes around the table, Mal's anxiety spirals deeper and deeper. I'm sorry, Vespera. Have I cursed you all over again? I wanted you to have someone by your side. Vespera releases a deep sigh and regards Mal's form. She takes his hand and squeezes. I have my people at my side. We've never been more connected than we are now. And I have you too, if you stopped interfering so much. The last part stings Mal, more so when she releases his hand. Mal can't bring himself to raise his head, and instead gazes down at his hands that hold nothing. He hears Vespera's footsteps head towards the door, pausing to turn to him one last time. I need to speak with the council about this. You should go home too. You look tired. There, she leaves him, not once looking back at him. Scene 3. Mal opens his eyes in the dark and pushes himself up to his feet. He stands over Vespera's bed and gently fixes the sheets around her. He spots a couple of blue petals by his feet, illuminated by the moonlight. And he laughs, dry and hoarse, until it resembles a choked sob. What am I even doing anymore? And that is where we will pause. I'm going to refill my water. We have a 3-minute ad going to play on Twitch. So, yeehaw. Hi. Welcome to all of our wonderful, beautiful fishies. I am going to step away to refill my water while we have an ad playing, so please enjoy the puzzle.
We are back. I think the camera is slightly off center though. There we go. Perfectly symmetrical. Okay. Sorry, I ran up the stairs a little out of breath. Hello, Daza. Hello, Robert. Hello, Gio. Hello, Guts. Hello, Pickion. Hello, Dova. Hello, GOTC. Welcome, everyone. I have refilled my water, so now I can be well hydrated. Water. Ignore that. Okay. None of these buttons are set up. That's cool. Are you ready to resume reading? Anyone? 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 Oh, you missed me. That's cute. Sammy is ready. Anxiety is ready. Dova is ready. We. Alright, then I will resume reading. Wood is ready. Act 3. The Prince and the Fairy. I actually don't remember if I said the title of the previous chapter, which was The Invited Guest. I just needed to do that for when I go back through and I edit this. Sorry. Thank you, future editor Steph. The Gifted Child. The hot sun shines on the grand city over the water. Crops grow on Chinampas at the outer edges, abundant with corn, squash, and beans. Farmers carry their crops on their backs, inland to markets, stirring with shoppers. Closer to the center, adobe structures and stone temples stand proud 100 steps above the bustling city and markets. Hummingbirds flit in the air as they hop from flower to flower, sticking their beaks into bright blossoms growing around the school. But the hummingbirds scatter when a group of children pours out. Most of the children wear the cotton blouses and trousers of the neighboring kingdom, but a few keep their loincloths and tomatli their mothers wove. Huitzilin wears a mixture of both styles and a turquoise kutzal, feather braided, and a turquoise kutzal feather braided into his hair. He speeds past the other children and across the city. Along the way, he scoops up
a fruit, dropped and forgotten, and takes a bite as he looks up at the sun's position. He has a few hours before sundown, so he moves faster. Once he reaches one of the lesser used bridges, he stops and looks around. He soon spots another child slumped against a wall and hurries towards her. But his smile fades as he gets nearer, seeing her scratch at her wrist that's red and pricked.
"Did you get punished again?"
he asks her. Atsi looks up, and her frown deepens.
"I don't want to weave,"
she says with a pout.
"And I don't want to farm. I want to hunt."
She clasps her hands behind her back and finds a rock to kick.
"And I can't go with you today. I have to help my father with the corn."
Huitzilin's shoulders fall at that.
"Oh,"
he says, staring across the bridge and the forest beyond. Then he snaps back to the problem at hand.
"I'm going hunting with my brothers. I'll convince them to let you come."
At this, Atsi's frown breaks and a small smile forms.
"You can always convince everyone. Okay. I'll show them I can be a great hunter."
Then she motions towards the forest.
"Will you still go?"
"Yes.
Chikawa says he saw the shadow children a few nights ago. They might still be close."
Atsi shuffles from foot to foot, her face scrunched up, and she groans.
"Oh, I wanted to go. Tell me if you find them. You better."
I will. After they say their goodbyes, Atsi heads back home, while Huitzilin proceeds across the bridge. Soon the city chatter and noise fade away, replaced by fluttering leaves, birds, and the calm waters surfacing fish. Huitzilin steps onto the dirt and stares at the dense trees. There are stories about this part of the forest, left untouched except by the occasional hunts. A witch lives here, Huitzilin has heard. The witch and the shadow children dance naked around fires at night and cast wicked spells against those who bother them. But so long as they are left alone, they won't hurt a soul. But Huitzilin's restless child mind can't resist the call of adventure. He picks up a stick and waves it around like a weapon.
"I can defend myself. And once I find a shadow child, if they can take me to the witch."
He lowers his stick to prod at the dirt.
"I can ask about the fairies and why I have to leave home to marry someone I don't know."
Huitzilin enters the forest to commence his search, creating landmarks of rock piles and twig structures to mark his way. Just as he checks behind a boulder, he hears a rustle. He looks around for the source and spots a shade in an embroidered robe with a flower crown on its head, mere feet away. They lock eyes for a tense moment before the shade snatches a mushroom from the ground, stuffs it into their pocket, and takes off. Weetzelin breaks out of his shock. "Oi, wait!" he calls out. Weetzelin does his best to follow, but soon loses sight of the shade. As he fumbles through the foliage, he comes across a small clearing and, in it, a house. A few shades are running around, playing. Chickens cluck amongst them, scratching at the ground. Weetzelin crouches at the end of the clearing. "I found them. Hello." Ah! Weetzelin falls back on his butt and stares at the shade suddenly beside him, his face in a panic. "Ardiet anu sari uk?" the shade asks while holding out a rock. Though cautious, Weetzelin is intrigued and accepts the rock. It's shiny and blue. "I can have this? Is..." The shade runs off to join a group playing hopscotch. Weetzelin inspects the rock briefly before putting it away in his pocket. The shadow children turned out to be more children than shadows. Interesting. Feeling more courageous, Weetzelin sneaks along the edge and approaches the back of the house. He peeks in through the open window and then immediately ducks when a figure comes close, speaking to someone in a worried voice. "And he's gone for hours," a worried voice cries out inside the house. A second voice placates the first. "Maybe he just needs some alone time." "But loneliness isn't good for him. He doesn't see Vespera as often anymore, nor does he call me, or arrange his plays and performances with his children." I know. But we can't force him to talk to us." As the voices go lower, Weetzelin takes a chance and peeks in again. Two women stand in the kitchen, their backs to him. From that angle, their wings are in full view, and Weetzelin instantly knows who they are. "Wow, it's the fairies." They're exactly who he is looking for. They hold all the answers and maybe a solution. But what if the fairies get mad at him? They might put his whole city to sleep if they think he wants to reject their gifts. Like what happened to Sleeping Beauty. Like what happened to the Sleeping Beauty because her parents disrespected one of the fairies. While pondering this, Huitzilin doesn't realize the voices are gone until it's too late. When he peeks in again, the room is empty. His head whips from side to side, finding no wings in sight. No, he can't have this one chance taken from him like this. Huitzilin moves around the house and spots a small group of shades playing with sticks like swords. Huitzilin looks at his own stick. The shadow children might know where the fairies are. Playing with them might lead to getting information. Before Huitzilin can decide, the shades chitter and run into the trees. His body takes after them, but he doesn't catch up to them, tripping over a large root and getting a mouthful of leaves. His stick flies out of his hand and falls on a pair of shoes. Huitzilin takes a moment to blink and process this, eyes tracing up to legs, body, face, and finally into wide eyes. Huitzilin is entranced by their saddened brilliance until he notices the head of thorns and scrambles backwards. Witch! Mal blinks at him, then scoffs and curls into himself, head on his knees.
Leave before this evil witch gets you.
Huitzilin jumps to his feet and dashes away a few paces, but then stops and peers back. The figure remains huddled up, shoulders hunched forward, and hands clasped around his legs. Huitzilin's heart becomes heavy. The sight is too pitiful for him to be scared. The shades didn't hurt him, so maybe this witch won't either. Gulping, then collecting himself, Huitzilin decides to approach. Are you crying? Mal peeks at him, brow furrowed in annoyance.
If you don't run off now, I'll eat you.
Sorry, that was my stomach. I'm a little hungry. That was very good timing, too. Don't forget, chat, drink your water. I apologize in advance if I have to repeat myself a lot because my stomach is making noise. Okay. Are you hungry?
Weetzelin digs through his bag for a snack. He finds a wrapped bundle he didn't finish earlier and holds it out triumphantly.
I have a chicken sandwich.
Mal stares at it and frowns deeper. I can't eat meat.
Oh.
Realizing he is hungry, Weetzelin takes a bite and contemplates the situation.
Then you can't eat me, right?
Mal meets his gaze, but then drops his head back onto his knees. Ugh. Weetzelin licks his fingers.
Then what do you eat?
Anything made from plants.
Plants? Then...
Weetzelin spots a blue rose petal on the ground and picks it up.
What about this? It's a pretty color. What about this? It's a really pretty color.
Mal's eyes widen at the sight of it, and he snatches it from Weetzelin's hand to hide it away. You can't tell anyone. Weetzelin can't help but to grin at the prospect of sharing a secret with such a mysterious, fascinating person.
I won't. I swear it. I won't even tell my best friend.
Feeling more confident, Weetzelin sits beside Mal for a closer inspection. His face, though a little pale, appears human enough. But the layers of dark clothes seem excessive in the afternoon heat. And there's the matter of the mass of thorns sprouting out of his head.
Why is your hair like that?
Weetzelin asks. It's not hair, they're thorns.
Why is your hair made of thorns?
When Mal peeks at Weetzelin again and shows his saddened, yet irritated, gaze, Weetzelin can't help but hang onto each word. Because I'm not human. My body's made of bones and thorns and spite. Now, don't you have chores or a mother waiting for you? Children shouldn't be this deep in the forest. Weetzelin straightens his back.
I have until sundown. But more importantly, where do you keep your flowers?
What flowers?
Well, you said you're made of thorns, and there was a blue petal, but no blue flowers around.
Mal stutters as he regains his composure to say, I brought the petal with me.
And if the flowers...
Sorry.
And if the flowers are inside your body,
Weetzelin continues,
they'd need some space. So, in your head? Or maybe in your stomach?
Mal's brow twitches at the mention of stomach, and Weetzelin catches the reaction.
Aha! They're in your stomach! I'm right, aren't I? Everyone always tells me I'm a clever kid.
I gotta rub my nose, sorry. I'm gonna do that again. Mal's brow twitches at the mention of stomach, and Weetzelin
catches the reaction. Aha! They're in your stomach. I'm right, aren't I? Everyone always tells me I'm a clever kid. Mal grunts. Clever indeed. But don't the petals fall? Don't the petals fall when they're dying? What happens to you if your flowers die? Birds tweet above, and they both snap their gaze upwards. A quetzal sits on a branch, its long tail feathers draping down. It calls out a longing coo, and when another answers it, the quetzal flies off, shaking leaves that rain down softly upon them. Huitzilin drops his gaze first and watches Mal. Mal's neck is smooth, but at the cut where his robe starts, Huitzilin spots white. Bone, Huitzilin realizes, before it's hidden away from sight again. And he meets Mal's eyes. Mal looks away. Then I die. Huitzilin's mouth hangs open. He'll die? That easily? But that's bad. Huitzilin searches for a sliver, some gap in Mal's robes, to see how the flowers are. How many do you have? How many petals have fallen off? I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. Why? Mal remains silent. Worried, Huitzilin shuffles closer. If you're scared, I can check for you. I help my friend with planting. Oh, I can ask her dad to see if he can help. I don't know. Please? Can I check that you're okay? Hesitance comes first, but slowly Mal puts down his arms and shifts to sit on his knees. Mesmerized, Huitzilin watches as Mal's slender fingers grab at his robe, and like the curtains of a theater, he reveals himself. One blue flower is withered and dead, and the last one is beginning to droop, already missing petals. Huitzilin grips his tomatli. Huitzilin grips his tomatli in his hands. There's only one, he says. Just one. Mal throws his robe closed and clutches his stomach. His eyes glisten with oncoming tears, and he crumbles back to his original position. I'm withering. I'm withering. I'm withering. He sobs. Dirt and twigs scratch Huitzilin's legs as he moves around frantically to be at Mal's side. He pats his back gently. Don't cry. I'm sure we can fix it. But I've tried everything. I sit in the sunlight, I eat properly and drink lots of water. I even put worms in my stomach. Huitzilin can't help but scrunch his face in disgust at worms, but continues to comfort Mal. There. Maybe It's the dirt. Mal sniffs and wipes away his tears. The dirt? Yeah. Sometimes the dirt is bad and you need to change it. I can ask my friend what dirt is good for blue roses.
What if that doesn't work?
We can try. Determined now, Retelling scrambles to his feet, brushes his knees, and fixes his tomatli. Will you be here for a while? When Mal nods, Retelling creates a small pile of rocks, and with that, dashes off. Mal remains in his spot and pulls out the petal. It lays crumpled on his palm. The pathetic sight of it enrages Mal, and he buries it under the dirt.
I'm fine. I'm fine,
he mumbles.
Nothing's wrong.
He sniffs and drops his head back into his hands.
Why can't I just be happy?
The sunlight dims. The blue sky turns orange-pink. When he hears a creaking, he slowly lifts his head, spotting Retelling carrying a woven basket on his back. Sweat runs down Reteling's face, but his smile shines when he looks at Mal with pride. I got dirt! The shock is visible on Mal's face. He believed a child would have been distracted and forgot to return. But not only did he come, he did so with such a heavy burden. Mal finds he can't be irritated at the boy anymore. Instead, he stands and rushes to meet the boy to help him set down the basket.
You brought so much.
It's better to have more than less, Retelling says, imitating the voice of an adult. If that's the case, I did it wrong. It's better to have more than less. There we go. Thank you, Editor Steph. Now, how do we change your dirt?
I've never done it before.
Mal checks the sun.
Are you sure you can be out this late?
As long as the sun is still up, the doors to the Say it with me, chat. Right? Mm-hmm. Really? Me too. Tek pan kali. Drink water. Hi, Ronnie. Hi. Hi, Ronnie. Right. Here, you can't hear, but can you rar? Rar. Rar. Oh, right, I forget. You guys like the gulp sounds. Here. You want gulping? Okay.
Okay, that was not a great gulp, okay? Okay, that was a better gulp. As long as the sun is still up, the doors to the Tekpan Kali stay open. Okay. I am capable of reading. I am literate most of the time. Lock in. Yes, daily affirmation.
As long as the sun is still up, the doors to the Tekpan Kali stay open. We should hurry.
I still don't like how I said that. We'll do it again. We'll get this, guys.
As long as the sun is still up, the doors to the Tekpan Kali stay open.
Nope.
As long as the sun is still up, the doors to the Tekpan Kali stay open. We should hurry.
They both know Mal is nervous now. But since Mal hasn't stopped them, Huitzilin hurries to direct Mal to kneel. Mal twiddles with the hem of his robe. For a servant boy, you have a lot of free time. It's surprising the royal family isn't using you up. Huitzilin's hands pause in dragging the basket closer. Without looking away, he asks,
You don't like the royal family?
He hears Mal huff, his tone shifting. They only think of themselves. I don't want anything to do with them. Huitzilin doesn't meet Mal's eyes, instead preoccupying himself with dusting his hands.
Aren't you friends with the fairies? Why don't you ask them for help? Don't they know magic?
So many questions. Magic can't solve everything. Not on its own. I need my roses to help me be more human. If I told the fairies about my roses, they'd take me away. They'll make me a fairy.
Is that bad?
This time, Huitzilin looks up as Mal untangles the thorns by his face. A melancholy sigh escapes his lips. To be a fairy, you have to give up your humanity. You can't connect with people anymore, not in the same way. And I miss being a part of the human world.
Then I won't say a word to anyone,
Huitzilin promises. The fairies are no longer in his mind except this almost fairy, who wishes to be human like Huitzilin.
We'll make you feel better.
Mal scrunches his face as he stares at the dirt. Seeing his discomfort, Huitzilin adds,
I'll be careful.
When Mal reveals his rose, Huitzilin follows the vines with his eyes, how they form a pocket beneath the roses to hold the dirt. He takes a deep breath and reaches in,
Tell me if it hurts, he says.
I will,
Mal responds. Avoiding the thorns is inevitable, but none draw blood as Huitzilin brushes away the top layer of dirt. Then he grabs the base of the rose and gently, firmly, he pulls and scoops the rose out. Mal shivers, and Huitzilin stops. They make eye contact, broken when Mal nods for Huitzilin to continue. Growing more confident, Huitzilin removes the old dirt and replaces it with one hand while the other props up the rose. It's not until the rose is replanted that Huitzilin huffs and wipes his brow. I'm done. How does it feel? Is it better?
I don't know. It feels like I'm fuller, but lighter at the same time.
Good. I also brought some water.
Huitzilin unties a container hanging from the basket and hands it to Mal. Did you? This time, Mal accepts the goodwill without hesitation. He takes large gulps of water and sighs. It's delicious.
And lastly,
Huitzilin pulls out a teardrop ocarina and plops down to play a simple melody. Mal leans back onto a tree and closes his eyes to listen. The song attracts a couple of shades who sit around them. 3 short songs later, Huitzilin ends his performance.
I have to go home now.
Mal rubs his eyes, sleepy. Okay. Thank you.
Can I come again? To check if you're feeling better?
If you want to.
Then I'll bring something we can both eat.
Huitzilin packs up and straps the basket onto his back. His head and heart are abuzz with ideas and snacks he wants to share with this intriguing stranger. Suddenly remembering one vital question left to ask, Huitzilin turns back once more.
What's your name?
Mal. What's yours? Huitzilin takes a moment to think it over before he flashes a smile.
Katso.
A laugh bursts out of Huitzilin's chest as he runs back home. The witch in the forest is no witch at all. Mal. Just Mal, with his blue rose. Huitzilin swears he'll help make it grow, no matter what he has to do. In fact, he will make sure hundreds of roses grow, so many that Mal won't be able to contain them in his stomach. Before Huitzilin reaches the forest's edge, he stops to bend down and fix a pile of rocks. He pats the highest rock and then departs, leaving the marker to show him his way back to Mal.
Scene 2. Seasons pass. Hot summers scorched the pile of rocks, and rain pelts down. Fallen leaves blanket the ground, but the rocks stand tall and firm. During one calm spring, a deer sniffs the pile, prods at the top with its nose, and topples the rock. I said that wrong, so I'm going to repeat it again. During one calm spring day, a deer sniffs the pile, prods at the top with its nose, and topples the rock. Suddenly, the deer freezes and stares around, eyes flickering, before dashing away. A large hand reaches down and dusts the rock before setting it back on top. Retelling enters the forest as a grown man. The boyish charm is still present in his eager grin and light steps, but his humming is now deeper and richer. He keeps his posture tall and proud as a prince, with Quetzal feathers in his long hair, but wears simple clothing. Behind him, an older Atsi secretly follows, hiding behind trees and shrubs. She now wears warrior's clothing, showcasing her muscled figure with her thick braids loose against her back. A shade notices her and tugs at her clothing. She smiles and puts up her finger to her lips. I just want to peek at his secret lover. I've been yelled at enough covering him. I've been yelled at enough covering for him. The least I can get is the reason why. And I refuse to believe he only comes to play with you shades. The shade nods in understanding and mimics Atsi's movements as they trail Retelling. Oblivious, Retelling steps into the clearing where Mal's home stands. I was just double checking something. It seems like you guys are not interested in doing the puzzle, so I make puzzle go away. Lemons, avocados, mangoes, and sapotes. Nope, sapotes. Okay, we do that again. Lemons, avocados, mangoes, and sapotes hang like pregnant bellies from branches. Hummingbirds, in their allegro flight, flit from flower to flower as monarchs glide at a slower tempo. A small playground made of logs stands to the side, oddly empty for once. Mal's adobe home is another story taller, with an upstairs patio brimming with flowering vines. Open shutters reveal colorful, embroidered curtains that depict peaceful days with mischievous shades. Retelling stands still and takes in Mal's presence in every flower and in every breath he takes. His heart sings his joy as he dashes forward, Mal, Retelling calls out from the yard. Mal, I've come to visit. A voice from inside the house calls back. Gatsaw, come look. With a childish grin, Retelling hurries into the house. Behind him, crouching behind a shrub, Otzi and a shade peek out. He has his secret lover hiding behind the city? She snorts. The guts on this one, when he's betrothed to the princess. She turns to the shade. Come on, little guy, let's go see. The two sneak around the house towards the window while Retelling enters Mal's workshop. With ease, Retelling maneuvers himself through this controlled disaster, hopping over spools and squeezing between fabric rolls. Mal stands in the center beside a mannequin, displaying a mashtel around the waist and a tmatli draped over it, both embroidered like paint on canvas. Mal turns to Retelling with an excited grin. Look, I finished it this morning. What do you think? Is it too much? Retelling circles the outfit with a captivated gaze. Beautiful green birds fly across the back amidst yellow flowers. Each stitch is perfect, the thread vibrant and rich in its hues. No, it's beautiful. Mal? Mal sighs with relief. Oh, thank goodness. Because it's for you. Retelling whirls around to Mal. Have I forgotten my own birthday? No. Mal laughs and nitpicks at the embroidery, smoothing it out. It's for you to wear for the performance. Something besides that same old outfit. Gulping, Retelling inspects his plain clothes. It's the same old outfit he switches into when visiting Mal. His more elaborate clothes stashed away. Like shedding snakeskin, Retelling enters the forest as his true self, the version of himself that can stand beside Mal. But the guilt remains, and he tries to maintain a carefree smile. Still, this is too much. Of course not. I made this specifically for you, so if you don't accept it, no one will ever wear it. Then I'm honored. Mal helps Retelling put on his new clothes, laughing and enjoying each other's close company. Outside, spying on the whole ordeal, Otzi scowls. Look at them, Otzi whispers at the shade, peeping with her. Having fun while I'm left to clean up after him. She narrows her eyes at Mal, noting how diligent Mal's nimble fingers are to fix each crease and fold. Who's your master, anyway? A babim, replies the shade. Mal takes a step back to regard his craftsmanship. I was worried about the colors, but it appears they work. Because I'm that handsome? Retelling says with a gallant pose. Mal scowls and playfully smacks Wheatling's shoulder.
because they suit your complexion and your eyes. My handsome eyes. Yes, sure. Mal circles him. It might need a few more details here. Maybe add something here. I still have a few more days until the performance.
Retelling grabs Mal's hands and holds them in place to get him to stop nitpicking and meet his gaze.
It's already perfect, Mal. I'd expect nothing less from the 8th fairy.
The 8th fairy? The two flinch at the sudden exclamation and turn to the window where Otzi stands, completely flabbergasted. Retelling recognizes her instantly.
Otzi?
Having been caught, Otzi's face pales, and she stands at attention in her warrior fashion. Forgive me, my prince.
Prince?
Mal retracts his hands and takes a step back from Retelling, confusion wrinkling his forehead as he waits for Reteling's explanation. Retelling approaches in a panic, but stops when he notices Mal about to take another step back.
Mal, wait. I'm not. I only.
Hearing only denial, Mal bites his bottom lip.
So, you really are.
The color drains from his face as screaming thoughts overwhelm him. Seeing the growing alarm in Mal's eyes, Retelling hurries to explain.
I'm sorry. I was going to tell you I was, but I couldn't risk ruining everything. But everything was a lie.
Otzi looks between the two, finally grasping the entirety of the situation. She glances down at the shade. Shit. I really messed this one up, didn't I?
I want to be alone,
Mal blurts out.
Please, Mal, let me explain. Yes, but not now. Not today.
Mal holds his arms around himself and turns his gaze away. Retelling reaches out to him, but forces himself to pull back. As much as his pained heart screams to hold Mal and explain it all, Retelling pushes it back down his throat. He has to respect Mal's choice. So, Retelling nods, while internally he collapses.
I'll leave you for today, but...
Retelling walks past Mal and holds open the door.
Not everything was a lie. All I've confided in you, and all you confided in me, all of that is true.
Retelling leaves the room, and Otzi vanishes from the window. Alone, Mal buries his head into his hands.
The prince. Of course, he's the prince. — Vespra's prince. He stares at the closed door. Fate must be laughing at him. What hurts is not the lies, but the dread that befell Mal the moment he turned, the moment he learned Kutzal belongs to someone else. Mal cannot allow himself to think deeply about why he feels so. What matters is Vespra's happiness with her future beloved. He has no place in their marriage. She'll have a good prince at her side, Mal whispers, then professes. And I can't ruin that too. At the edge of the clearing, Otzi catches up to Weetzelin, who trudges forward with a hunched back. She notices the shade still following her and kneels down to talk to them.
Sorry, pal. You've been a good warrior, but this is where we part. Go look after your master, and I'll look after mine.
The shade nods and scampers off. Otzi sighs before returning to her feet and catches up to Weetzelin again.
I apologize for the outburst.
Weetzelin shrugs. It was overdue.
Perhaps, but it should have been on your terms, between the two of you.
Doesn't change the fact that I lied when a lie is what hurt him the most. He stops when he spots the pile of rocks and kicks it over. Otzi scrambles to pile them back up before rushing to catch up with her friend. They cross back onto their island and enter the training ground, an enclosed dirt field, currently empty. And Weetzelin drops onto one of the benches. His head falls into his hands. He must hate me now. Hearing his voice so defeated, Otzi decides enough is enough. She stands firm over him, her hands at her hips.
Nonsense! Your entire relationship destroyed like this? You hurt him. He wants some time to think, so you'll give him that. And when you can whisk him away with that, charm of yours.
What charm? Wait! Weetzelin bolts up and pats down his chest. His clothes! I should return them. Otzi holds him back.
No. We can use them.
A scheming gleam shines in her eyes. She plops down beside him.
Great charm and loyalty, confidence, humility, compassionate, inquisitive, and, don't forget, a dancing prince. What human, blessed by the fairies, would admit defeat like that? I say, make use of every gift, bound together to stitch up the rift. Uncertain about the whole idea, Weetzelin gives her a side look. Use my gifts? Winking, Otzi throws her arm around Weetzelin and divulges her plan. On the day of the performance, show up looking your best. And with that confident strut, you'll pass this arduous test.
I don't know. Mal deserves better.
Atsi sighs, but the door creaks open before she can say more. Another warrior with large glasses pokes his head in.
Am I interrupting?
The smaller warrior asks Atsi. Masato, perfect timing. Masato, Masato, Masato. Okay. Masato, perfect timing. Atsi leaves Huitzilin and coddles Masato. Sorry, water. That pop was my jaw. Nobody cares. Nobody asked. But you heard that. I heard that. That was my jaw. Atsi leaves Huitzilin and coddles Masato instead. A loud smooch resounds where she plants a kiss on Masato's temple, soon replaced by whispers. Gather the men. No, the whole ensemble. The prince needs our help. Masato, his cheeks pink, fidgets and brushes aside his hair where Atsi had kissed him.
Are we going up to battle?
A battle for love. Now gather them up.
Yes, Captain.
With Masato off on her command, Atsi returns to Huitzilin's side. And you, giving up so quickly, up and out and armor yourself. Each gifts a sword, each one a shield. Now, pick them all up and get ready to wield.
What if I just talk to him? Be honest and...
A knock interrupts Huitzilin. The door opens and a stream of warriors, all pumped for action, enter. Atsi meets them, motioning at them with her hands to quiet down. Then, she beckons them close with a finger to let them in the situation while Huitzilin wallows on his own. Our prince has someone to impress, Atsi whispers. A lover that's been slighted. Our job's to turn our saddened prince into a king that conquers myths. The warriors, accepting their mission, gather around Huitzilin, who raises an eyebrow at the sudden crowd. A warrior comes up to clap his hand on Huitzilin's shoulder, saying,
My prince, blessed for greatness, take this advance of mine. You are given confidence. Walk with it in your spine.
A second warrior adds,
But don't forget the third one's gift, which blessed you with humility. Admit your wrongs, release your pride, and relight affinity.
The warriors scoop Huitzilin to his feet between the two, and his ensemble parades him to the communal eating area. Open tables and seats spread out beside the kitchen. The cooks grinding down corn for tortillas look up at the commotion. A warrior breaks away to whisper to one of the cooks. The cook's eyes widen, and she nods with determination before running off to alert the others. Meanwhile, a third warrior advises the prince, crying out, Declare your loyalty! Down on one knee! He shows his bare chest upon which the name of his beloved is tattooed, Spread open your chest with the name upon thee! A barrage of servants rushes over to shoo the third warrior and his idea aside. You don't need a grand display, one of them tells Weetzelin. Instead, leave matters to the heart. Inquire what hurts, what helps. Understand each slight in part. The sweet scent steals Weetzelin's attention away to a cook with a tray full of desserts. The cook says, "Express your compassion, tailor-made and sweet. Listen to their tale with their favorites on their lips." "Yes, that's all well and good," another servant says, "but don't forget your charm. Wear your best, brush your hair. A dashing smile does no harm." Following his lead, Weetzelin attempts to smile, but his heart isn't entirely in it. Otzi steps forward with a final boost of confidence, sensing how overwhelmed he is. "And then you have the last gift. That's your strongest weapon. Whisk him away in a dance and whisper to him your confession." Masato pushes his glasses up his nose as he asks Otzi, "What about the eighth gift?" Otzi clasps his mouth shut with a hand. "Shh! We'll cross that bridge when we get there." Then, loudly, to the crowd, "Come on, men! We got only days to turn this humble prince into a god amongst men." More servants approach with supplies to aid Weetzelin's transformation. "Leave details to your betters," a third servant says. "We'll prepare your bath with petals." "I'll polish your dancing shoes," a fourth chimes in. "Which of those flowers do you choose?" says the fifth with a bundle of flowers in hand. Otzi takes all the flowers and raises them in the air. "All of them! Everything! Spare no expense!" With a wink and a prod, she finally pulls Weetzelin out of his despair. His eyes light up, and he throws his arm over Otzi's shoulders. "Every gift I'll put to use and arm up my defense." Together, their warrior spirits declare, "We can't control the outcome, but damn, we won't decline the fight." Weetzelin takes the flowers, holds them close, and smiles gently at them. "I'll prove I offer more than faults and save this love from plight." The room explodes into cheers, and each warrior, cook, and servant pats the prince on the shoulder. Reinvigorated, Weetzelin thanks them all and heads toward the door. I'm going to plan out the perfect apology. Thanks, everyone. Now I won't lose my dearest friend." Weetzelin runs off, leaving the rest of the cast in a momentary state of shock. Just as the door closes, Otzi breaks out of it to exclaim, "Wait! He's just a friend?" That is the end of that chapter. Hi, Kakaroto. I really apologize, but I cannot do some siren singing tonight. We are actually already so far over our usual stream time, so I am going to refund that back to you so you get those points. But I am going to be ending stream now. I thank you all so much for joining me today on stream. And I do hope that you stick around. If you are watching on Twitch, we are going to be raiding, so exclamation raid, copy the raid message, and paste it in the chat of wherever we end up. Please do be on your best behavior, be kind and respectful, and if you enjoy their content, follow and hang out with them. If you are not watching on Twitch, no worries. The stream is just going to end for you, but hey, that's okay. If you miss me, if you want more of my reading and my content, you can join me on YouTube. I do post videos every Friday, and you can actually check out my mega playlists of reading if you would like to listen to Pride and Prejudice or perhaps Jane Eyre. I do have other stories that I have read if you would like to listen to hundreds of hours of my voice. If you miss VODs in the future, that is also okay. You can check YouTube live streams for all of my previous live streams going back an entire year. Hi, Koibito. Welcome. So I am unfortunately going to call it good night, but this is the part where we say our good nights, our goodbyes, and our see you tomorrows. I will be back again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Wait, what's today? I will be back again tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. If you haven't yet hit the subscribe or the follow button, I highly encourage you do that so that you can get notified. And if you would like to be notified via the Discord server, you only get notifications for what you choose to be notified for. Please join our Discord server so you can get all of the updates right when they happen. And until I see you again tomorrow night at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, close enough, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, please have a wonderful night. We are going to raid into a friend of mine who is doing a super exciting donathon, and they are playing Puppy Playtime. So it's not ASMR, but it's a good time nonetheless. So let's go in, let's raid, hang out, and I will see you again tomorrow night. Good night.